We start this session by echoing the lyrics to Queen, "We want it all and we want it now." In Lifebook, we firmly believe that there is no person that wants only half a great life. We want excellence, success, and fulfillment in every category of our lives. Taking this short life we have been given and making it the best that we possibly can. This is our shared Lifebook vision. So welcome guys to your final Lifebook online Q&A coaching call. Congratulations, you showed up and you played full out, and here we are, the final two categories of Lifebook: quality of life and life vision. In the end, it's not the years in our life that counts, it's the life in our years, as Abraham Lincoln said. So it's time to bring this entire process together and see how we can achieve our life vision, or simply put, how we can have it all. And thus, we'll be also talking a bit later on this call about the next steps on your journey. As the Lifebook program was a structured process to help you define your ideal life vision, Lifebook Mastery, which is the next program on this journey, is the structured process to help you create it. As you can expect, we have a great session prepared for you today, and I believe you'll get great insights from tonight's session. And we have a lot of great content to cover. That being said, and without further ado, let's welcome together again, directly from Hawaii, our wonderful teachers on this journey, John and Missy. Hi, guys.
Hey, everybody. So good to be here.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Wonderful. So I see a lot of activity here in the chat. That is great. We have 600 and counting people joining us. So that's wonderful. I love to see these big numbers for the calls. So let's dive right in with our first question that comes from a couple. It comes from Jeff and Lisa. And because it was mentioned in the life vision category, my husband and I are wondering, what advice do you have for creating your dream home while also sharing it with our young son? Our desires for calm, serenity, and peace and an organized home appear to be in direct conflict with his desires to spread his trucks around, his construction building blocks and figurines all over our small house. We can definitely feel the effects of the chaos and clutter more than we like. What would be your advice?
That's a great question. What do you think, sweetie?
Oh, well, yes, that's a big one and great question. And you need your own space, and he needs his own space. But what John and I have done in our homes, and we have little ones, is we either had a playroom where all the toys stayed in that area, and that was their domain. Or if you don't have that, you can have them have their own room. And their own room is off limits to us. It's like it's their domain. They have to clean it. They're responsible for it. If they share a room, then you can give them a closet or a cupboard or something that is completely theirs. Mm-hmm. And you say, this is our space, this is your space, this is how we like our space.
And the other side of that, is that they're not allowed in our bedroom. That's our inner sanctum, and that's the no kid zone. Yeah. And when we were first together, our first house was, we renovated a barn that was built in like 1850 or something. Yeah. It was this amazing space. And we had a closet under the stairs, and that closet was kids' game room. We have the same thing in this house.
Yeah.
All you need is a closet. They think it's a friggin' castle, you know? True. And they get all their stuff in there, and that's their domain. They can do anything they want with it. They're not allowed in our bedroom. That's where we can have our nice stuff. We can have, that's our inner sanctum where we can go to just be alone. And so I think two spaces is the right answer to that one.
Sure.
For us, at least, it has been.
And I would just add that we use this technique throughout their childhood, basically. It's a technique we call life training wheels, basically. Mm-hmm. You give them a little bit of freedom inside your home, inside the bigger container of, you guys are really in control of their freedom, but you give them a sense of freedom, like, for example, in their own room. And then from there, you can help, guide them to where they know how to make the decisions, basically.
Exactly.
So
give them as much freedom as you can inside of a nice container.
Well, they're still in your house, because then you can help guide them.
So those are our thoughts on that one.
I am viewing the 12 categories for now as a hierarchy of needs, with most attention going to the areas that are lacking the most. Is that okay? Or is it off the mark and I should reconsider? And if so, how do I keep attention to all these 12 categories to keep them in balance? For example, now that we have finished Lifebook, we have practically like 50 or 60 goals. I'm not sure where I should begin.
That's a great question. There's a lot in that question. So let me kind of dissect it a little bit. So some people tend to focus on their weakest areas as a good solid strategy to make sure that they bring the weak areas up and that they're not deficient anywhere. There are other people that don't think that's the right strategy. Other people think, and I've got some friends like this, that think that all of your time and attention should be focused on your strengths. Like, screw the weak areas. I don't really need to spend a lot of time on those because my life will be propelled forward if I really nail my strengths. But I'll tell you what I think is most important at this stage, you guys. It's not necessarily about your weak areas or your strong areas. It's about focusing on the things that will move you toward your life vision the quickest, whatever those things are. And our second level course, which we're going to talk to you about today, Lifebook Mastery, that is literally what we address in the next step. So if you guys join us in Lifebook Mastery in the next program, we're going to kind of put the 12 categories off to the side for a while. You just got done thinking deeply about your life in 12 separate categories. But what's valuable about that for the next step is that it all rolled up into a singular, compelling life vision. And that's the focus of the next 6 weeks if you continue with us into Lifebook Mastery. Rather than digging deep in your health and fitness, in your emotional life, in your financial life, in your career, etc., what we're going to do next is we're going to take a look at the life vision you created, the entire overall beautiful picture of that life that you want to be living, and we're going to ask ourselves the following questions. Well, first of all, we're going to spend a little bit of time on it and really dial in that life vision. We're going to make it so clear and so compelling that you've got an absolutely exciting target that you want to jump out of bed every single day and work toward. And then what we're going to ask you is, what are the most important goals upon which this life vision rests? It's no longer about the 12 categories. It's about what 5 goals could you set that would propel you to that life vision the quickest. And then we're going to break those down into smaller and more manageable goals and help you move through the year where you're making progress toward your most important goals every day. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to help you dial in the habits, the daily behaviors that are going to propel you towards your life vision the fastest. And you're going to get those locked in, and that's where you really step into your new life. That's where you really become the expression of that life vision. We're going to help you put a tracking and measuring system in place that you will know with absolute clarity whether you're getting closer or farther away from your goals every single week, every single month. And then after we're done with Lifebook Mastery, this 6-week course that basically gets your systems and processes up and running, doesn't focus on the 12 life categories. It focuses on your life vision and what you need to do to move toward that life vision. After you get those systems and processes up and running and established in your life, then we go back to the 12 categories in this beautiful 12-month, 12-category rhythm. So January is Health and Fitness Month, and the entire community does a deep dive into health and fitness in the month of January. We all share best practices. That's our focus for the month of January. February is Intellectual Month, and we all share strategies, and we blast into new territory in that category. March is Emotional Month, all the way through the end of the year. That 12-month, 12-category rhythm in our membership is where you learn how to master these 12 areas of your life. And you guys, Missy and I, are on our 7th full cycle of that. 7 years we've done a deep dive into one category per month. And that's how we've created this life. It starts out with a Lifebook program, thinking through the 12 categories and creating a life vision. Then it goes into Lifebook Mastery, where you put the systems and processes in place that you need to align your goals and your habits with that life vision and put a measurement system in place. Then you go back to the 12 categories and you start doing deep dives every month. And that is simply the way to move you toward that beautiful vision you created for your life the fastest and most effective possible way.
That was very well said.
Thanks, sweetie. You have anything else to say?
I would just say, keep in mind, you guys, that the 12 categories are just 12 different aspects of one thing, which is your life and your life vision. That's why John took you through that life vision exercise. If you haven't done it yet, do it. It's amazing. and you think about each one of the categories in
The context of the bigger
yes,
picture.
Yes. So really, it's you're working on one thing. So
Right.
and another thing to really keep in mind right now is that you guys are like you're training. You're learning a
Right.
completely new system of organizing and living your life. So you're kind of in training. You've done the first piece, and if you go with us on the next piece, you'll learn how to integrate what you've just done into your real life. It's the, like John said, it's the systems and the habits and the processes that will help you live the life you want to live. And then once you have that system built, that home life, one life system, then you can start studying each category. And from there, you learn more and more how they become more and more integrated. And it really is just one thing. But you remember, you're in training right now.
Exactly.
It's a good thing to remember.
And the next course, you guys, Lifebook, like Alex said at the beginning of this call, Lifebook is the system, the step-by-step process that you use to design your ideal life. Lifebook Mastery is the step-by-step process you use to build it, to actually create it. It's where the realization of your life vision happens right in front of your eyes. And this is the system Missy and I used over the years. So I want to ask a quick question just for my own curiosity. The life vision exercise. I remember the first time Missy went through the Lifebook program after we finished it. This was probably 10 years ago. And she'd never experienced we'd had our Lifebook for a long, long time, but she'd never experienced the full program. And we were in the beautiful Lifebook Lounge in downtown Chicago with an extraordinary group of people. And we got to that life vision exercise, and she just about levitated off of the ground. I mean, when we finished that exercise,
Well, I could see the future. I could see where we were going. And it's so funny because even now, some of those things I saw 10 years ago haven't fully come to fruition. But once in a while, one of them will be like, oh my God, that was one of those things I saw back 10 years ago. So that's the fun thing about life visioning. You never exactly know when it could happen. I mean, you can put timelines on it, but it's powerful. It's a powerful.
In her particular case, the vision that she emerged with was so huge, it almost scared me.
Yeah.
It was just like, holy shit, seriously, that's what's going to happen to us? And
true.
But it's all coming in still after 10 years. And my question was that exercise super powerful for some of you? Like just, every time I do it, it's just like, whoa. Yes.
Super powerful.
Oh,
yes.
I'm so glad, you guys.
Then it translated.
That's fantastic.
That's really
because this was a new version of it and that no one's ever seen. You guys were the very first people to ever see this. And that's so thank you.
Awesome. Yay.
Thank you so much. I just wanted you to know that. Oh, yay.
Okay.
I see someone actually took to heart the idea of compliments. So I see a beautiful one here. John and Missy, you are like a benevolent king and queen from a fairy tale.
Wow, thank you. Oh my goodness.
And I saw another comment here from John. So a different John. I think this course attracts a lot of Johns. So John said that the Lifebook Mastery that we talked about helped him absolutely crush 2018. So I'm really happy with that, John.
Yeah, no, you guys, listen, I want to just say something real quick about Lifebook Mastery. It is our best work. There's no question about it. If you love Lifebook, you will be blown away by Lifebook Mastery.
Yeah.
And so we really hope that you continue your journey with us because, one thing you can count on with Missy and I, we will never give you bad advice. Yeah. I mean, how many times have you guys heard me say during the course of the program or heard us say on these calls, if we don't know whether something will work for you or not, we're going to tell you we don't know. You got to figure this out on your own. We worked hard to figure out our shit. You got to figure out your stuff on your own. And we're telling you this right now. We will never give you bad advice. If you move on with Lifebook Mastery with us, you will never, ever regret that decision.
That is true.
Yeah.
And also to John, the John that wrote, not the John that's answering. So to the John that wrote, pretty much you're going to love the new one because you've been through the old one, but you haven't seen the new one yet.
Exactly right. This is all brand new content, and you guys are going to be the first to experience it. It's going to blow your mind.
I don't know if you said a bad word, but because I flipped the camera to me, I think I beeped it somehow. But
I probably did,
He
Alex.
does.
Everybody.
Odds are he did.
Okay, moving on the list here, let's take some ethical questions. If we're talking about living a big life here, question from Ed. How do you balance this quality of life category with environmental responsibility? What are your thoughts on the ecological footprint of excess?
Well, you know, that's a deeply personal issue. Everyone has their own values. Everyone has their own sense of life. Everyone has their own, you know, when it comes to environmental issues and political issues, we've all got different points of view. And one of the serious problems in the world today is we're not doing a very good job honoring and respecting other people's points of view. Our point of view on balancing quality of life with environmental issues, you guys, because we've traveled the world so much, we've been to 100 countries, we've been to way more than half the world's countries. And one thing that we do know is that the poorest countries in the world are the biggest perpetrators of environmental problems, which basically says that the wealthier a country gets, the more they tend to protect their environment. Because when you're poor and in survival mode, that's when you're going to be cutting down trees. I mean, that's what we've seen in history. That's what we're seeing worldwide. So we believe in conscious capitalism. Now, capitalism certainly isn't always environmentally responsible. We know that. But conscious capitalism that tends to enrich people tends to protect the environment more than, I mean, go to a country like Haiti and take a look at, you know, what they've done to their environment. It's incredibly sad. Now, you know, we just got back from the Philippines, spending a month in the Philippines. And that's an example of a third world country that is now moving toward first world, that has finally gotten a clue on the fact that their natural beauty and their natural resources, their number one financial asset. And they're starting to seriously protect. They've got one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. It's called Boracay Beach. And they've basically ruined it through 25 years of just absolutely unregulated development and tourism. And what they did is they shut it down. They shut it down. They have 150 hotels there, and they closed them all for 6 months and said, you're going to clean up this island. And they just reopened it. We haven't been there since, but they're finally starting to get a clue. So the bottom line is this: it's a personal issue, and in my opinion, you've got to take personal responsibility for whatever your particular values are. Like, for instance, Missy and I are more and more getting dialed into this issue. Over the last couple years, we've recently, this is just a little dopey example, but it's kind of important. Over the last couple years, we've really realized what an egregious use of plastic water bottles are. These little friggin' water bottles, and it's plastic that's going to last forever. And we drink it, and it's gone, and that's going to be on our planet forever. It's like, what the hell? Can't we come up with a better idea than that? The way you vote is with your money. It's with your pocketbook. If you don't like that, if you don't agree with that, you figure out a different way to buy water so that you're not supporting that. So I feel like we all have a responsibility to make sure that our values are reflected in our behavior, and especially in our purchases. I hope I answered that question. But
I think that was amazing. I always go to, whenever we have questions like this about how to help others or how to help the environment, it comes down to being able to be living and from a place of being able to offer help.
Right.
If you
got to be okay yourself before you can help anyone.
You got to get to first base yourself and make sure you can eat, feed, you can feed, clothe yourself. You can, you're good. You got food and shelter, and you have a little extra to help other people, because that's what Lifebook, I think, is one of the most important lessons about Lifebook, is that it's up to you to pull yourself up, get yourself in a good position so you can help others. Right. You can offer help, whatever that looks like for you, to others.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what we're going to do is we're moving to Hawaii now, is we really want to create as sustainable a place as we can and as low footprint as we can. And guys know it's not necessarily for the better of the world. That's a good side effect. That's how we want to live.
Yeah. It's good for everyone.
We don't want this big, complicated, consumer-oriented life that just consumes. We've been to that party, and we're ready to sort of move on from
Not
that. So,
sustainable.
there you go.
Yeah. Great question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, next question here on the list. Let's see. When it comes to quality of life, what would be the best strategy to find a balance between living well and doing what it takes to create the financial abundance that can fuel this? Joanna said, what is the best advice you can give us on how to have a balance between quality of life in the now, what we need to do each day to build, and what we need to do each day to build that future? And what are your best strategies for this?
That's a great question. And so basically, it's a balance between working hard and enjoying yourself, working hard and rewarding yourself. We have specific strategies for this, and we're going to share them with you. But you guys, here's the most important concept to understand. It's not just the attainment of your life vision that should make you happy. It's got to be the journey as well. Every single day that you're working toward that life vision should bring up feelings of joy and contentment and fulfillment. It should be fun for you to get in shape. It should be fun for you to create a wonderful relationship with your spouse. It should be fun for you to have a successful, fulfilling career that makes you a lot of money. We're going to be spending more time on the journey than we are at the actual destination. So that journey, those moments that we're working toward it, have got to be enjoyable. Missy and I work our asses off, you guys. We work hard. You know, we've got a lot of companies. We have a lot of things that we want to see happen in this world. We want to live at the highest possible level that we can. So we have strategies in place to ensure that we're not just going to get lost in our work and that nose to the grindstone, driving toward our goals every second of the day. And I'll share a couple of those strategies with you. We tend to turn off work every day at 5 o'clock. We're not perfect.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
We're not perfect with that, but we're pretty damn, we protect our time together. We protect our family time. The deal is this: we work our asses off all day long. You know, if we can't get it done in 9 or 10 hours, however long we work, well, then it can wait till tomorrow. We put in a heck of an effort. Yeah. It's time for us to reward ourselves. You guys know that we have a weekly date every single week where it's just us. Sacred. Absolutely sacred.
We've actually bumped that up since our kids are teenagers now, are the ones in the house. We're doing that, like, we'll go to bed at like 7, 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Say good night, guys, and go to our room and like just disappear. It's
yeah.
amazing.
And you know, that is non-negotiable, sacred connection time. Miss and I take a couple trips alone together every year. It's incredibly important to us. We reward ourselves for our hard work. We buy ourselves gifts when we're doing well financially. We just think of everything we can to, and here's another great thing. It's not all about buying and consumerism. The best things in life are free. It doesn't cost you anything to watch a sunset. And we watch the sunset every single day. It doesn't cost you anything to take a walk in nature.
That's right.
And we try to do that every single day too. It doesn't cost anything to play with your kids or smell the roses. These are the things that you can do.
Take a bath.
Yeah, just take a bath with incense and candles.
Yeah.
Got to reward yourself. This is hard work, you guys.
Yeah.
It's hard. Self-actualization is hard work.
But it's so fun, and it can be addicting too. So you have to just make sure you take time off. And I think this totally touches on the concept of intention and allowing.
The balance
between intending what you want and allowing it to happen. It goes hand in hand. If you just push all the time, then there's no room to receive the great things that you're intending. So I think that's a big piece of that.
Let me throw in one other thing that I really think is valuable, because this is an important issue. You guys you're getting ready to embark on the journey. You're getting ready to go down the road of building your life vision. This is an incredibly important issue. So you're going to have times. So what I want to talk about are the different rhythms of pushing and enjoying, pushing and enjoying. Daily rhythm is I get up and I work my ass off every day, and then I'm going to turn it off at night and I'm going to enjoy. Weekly rhythm is I'm going to work hard this week, and guess what? On Thursday, I'm going to have a date with Missy, and we're going to stop at noon, and we're going to have the whole night together, and we're going to sleep in late, and I'm going to, right? So that's a weekly rhythm. Sometimes you'll have something that requires a month of pushing your ass off. You're launching a new thing, or there's some big intense project that you got to do, and you're gonna have to make sacrifices, and it's gonna take a whole month. Well, you damn well better reward yourself with a big reward at the end of that. Try to balance that driving, intention-oriented aspect that is absolutely critical to getting what we want with the rewards and the enjoyment that is the whole purpose of this. Why are we doing it if we aren't getting that back?
That's right.
That was a great question.
Very good question.
Thank you.
As you prepare to move and step into your new life vision, because you mentioned this already, how have you gone about letting go of what no longer serves you and setting yourself up for creating an amazing quality of life in your new environment?
Man, is that hard.
Super hard.
And,
Took us a long time.
and so critical.
Yeah.
You guys, here's a tip. Here's an incredible, this might be a hack, and I don't use that word. I don't really like that word because it kind of implies success without effort, but there are certain things that have such an incredible impact that you almost have to characterize them as that. Building your life vision, we usually think about having to build, having to create, having to invent, having to put things in place that are not there right now. For instance, I need to make more money. I've got to create more financial abundance. I've got to work toward that. I want to get in better shape. I've got to create a better body through working out every day. So we tend to think about this life vision as something that we have to really put things in place to achieve and create. But it's equally as powerful and sometimes more powerful to release things, to let things go. It might be better for you to release a negative relationship than to build two strong new ones. Literally, if you've got something holding you back like that, releasing might be what you need to do, even more importantly than creating. And my God, have we learned this lesson over the last, because you can't step into a new life without releasing the old one, you guys. As long as you have the old patterns and the old beliefs and the old ways of doing things and the old friends and the old boss and the old job and the old,
What's that quote by somebody really smart? Was it Einstein that said you can't solve a problem?
with the same level of thinking that existed when the problem was created in the first
That
place.
applies here. That
You've
totally
got to
applies
level
here.
up.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, baby.
Yeah. I was just going to say so the question was basically, how are we stepping into our life vision? How are we letting go of the old patterning and habits that no longer serve us and be open for the new ones? And I'll tell you, that's literally been what John and I have been focusing on so
absolutely
hardcore, probably for 3 or 4 years, as we have been transitioning toward leaving Illinois, going to Hawaii.
We have to release a whole state in order to
and 30
receive a
years,
new state.
30 years.
We have to release a house in order to receive a new one.
30 years
We've got
of
to
energy.
release all of our friggin' daily patterns
Totally.
in order to receive these new patterns.
Amazing. So one of the things you should run out immediately and download this if you don't already have it, if this is what you're looking for. If you're looking for something to help you release old patterning, to open up to the new possibilities of what can come for you next. It's Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has a morning and an evening meditation. They're each about 20 minutes. John and I, my girlfriend Lori, and our dear friends Lori and Patrick Gentempo turned us on to this. It literally helped us get rid of old patterning and open up for new. That was, I would say we did a lot of things, but that was the thing we did religiously for probably 2 years straight.
And there's a psychological component to this this is a corollary that will set it in your mind even stronger, because this is a critical issue. This is super important. It's worth the time. And I've talked to you guys about this before. When I'm feeling stress or anxiety, or when I'm in the middle of a big, intense situation, and Miss and I are, we're going to bed, we're putting our hands on each other, we're doing energy work. Her number one advice for me always is, John, you release this in layers. Release, release, release. She'll have her hands on me, and I will go into a meditative state, and I will let go of any tension that I'm feeling in my body, whatever the situation is that I'm in that is an intense situation that's causing me stress. Let it go, empty out, release, release, release. And then what you've done is you've created an emptiness, you've created a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. You now have emptiness inside of you. And what happens is the next morning you wake up and nature fills it with all kinds of new ideas and concepts and so on. I've told you guys this. Most of the time, the problem that I was struggling with, if I'm able to release it enough to let it go in layers and layers and layers and empty myself out, many, many times it comes back in the next day completely fixed. Now, that could not have possibly happened if I would have stayed full, if I would have stayed with all of my questions and searchings and ponderings and with all that inside of me. That beautiful answer could have never come in because there was no room for it to come in. Well, it's exactly the same with this issue. Stepping from one life into a new life, whatever you want that's new, you're going to have to figure out what the old thing was and get rid of that before the new thing can come in. Big deal, especially where we are right now in this journey, transitioning from Lifebook, where we've just figured out exactly what we want, to Lifebook Mastery, where we're figuring out exactly what we need to do to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Okay, and if we're talking about big things that might also take longer to achieve, here's our next question. How do you keep this big picture of your ultimate life vision in front of you when you know it takes longer to achieve? How can you stay consistent and motivated towards building it?
Yeah, this is my domain. I mastered this one. And it's in week 2 of Lifebook Mastery. So basically what we do in Lifebook Mastery, week 1 is an introduction that takes you through exactly what the process is. Week 2 is the first real exercise. And your exercise in week 2 of Lifebook Mastery is to take a look at your life vision that you've created based on your vision for your 11 categories, and write a 2-page synopsis of your ideal life. 2-page synopsis. I did this probably 15 years ago.
Could be your ideal day. If your ideal life is too complicated, ideal day.
A couple different ways that you can do it, but the bottom line is you end up with 2 pages that describe your ideal life. It's either your day or your entire life vision. 2 pages. And all the thinking that you've done has come down to that 2 pages. Well, that becomes your friggin' mantra. That becomes your morning affirmation. You read that every single morning. That's the target of Lifebook Mastery. That's what we're going to pull into existence. You literally move into that life vision mentally. You inhabit it psychologically and emotionally. You know every single thing there is to know about it. It becomes part of who you are. And then it starts to express itself in your outside world, especially with the systems and strategies we have in place, to move toward it with your goals and habits, etc. So the answer to that question is so if you're not going to continue your journey with us, which shame on you, but if you're not going to continue your journey with us, the next thing you need to do is you need to take a look at all the work you did at Lifebook and boil it all down to 2 pages. And that becomes the only thing you care about in your life. If you are going to continue your journey with us, we will help you do that in the highest level possible way. And then that becomes the target of everything that we're building. So the idea is you have got to absorb that at the deepest possible level. That's how you keep it in front of you. Yeah. And you guys, listen, if you move into that vision emotionally and psychologically and spiritually and intellectually, there is no way. What we're learning from quantum physics is that is how things are created in this universe. There's no way you can fail. There's no way that doesn't start to move toward you as you're moving toward it. It's the way the universe works. It's the law.
Let's see, another question here. I'm reading a lot of these beautiful comments in the chat as well.
This is a love fest, bro.
Okay, next question. How do you personally measure? Oh, this is a very interesting one. How do you personally measure happiness or fulfillment or success in an area that is harder to quantify? Is there a scale you use? Are there any questions you have found valuable? Basically, what's your process here?
Well, the masculine side of that is that we have tools. The feminine side of that is that you listen to your friggin' heart and have intuition. So why don't you talk
Yeah.
about the feminine and I'll talk about the masculine.
Okay. I would say the calibration that I use is really how is it landing emotionally, like environmentally, the environment, the emotional environment in my home. That's kind of how I measure everything. So is the vibration in tune with that, or is it dissonant with that? That's literally as simple as I can explain it.
I love it. And the reason, by the way, that she uses that gauge is because the emotional environment in our home extends from Missy. If Missy's okay, and this is the thing, you guys, I have one thing to focus on in my life, her being okay. Because if she's okay, everything's okay. The home's okay, the family's okay. So the reason she uses that as a gauge is because that's her responsibility.
Right.
That's
But I'm also very grateful and blessed to have John as the masculine that he is to do the other side. Because if I was just feeling my
Right, of
way
course.
through life, right? So
So
that's something that we do.
Yeah, so the
together.
masculine answer is
Yeah.
that we have tools. And so Lifebook has the most sophisticated lifestyle assessment in the world. Our introspect assessment, which you guys will take quarterly if you continue your journey with us and become Lifebook members in our community, our awesome, amazing community. Every quarter we take Lifebook's introspect assessment and you get scored in each of the 12 categories. And you know, it's hard to quantify happiness. It's hard to quantify fulfillment. It's hard to quantify, you know, your self-esteem and success. But there's only one person at the end of the day that's qualified to give an opinion on that, and that's you. You're the one at the center of that whole thing, and the assessment gives you a chance to answer 100 questions that come back to you in the form of 12 category scores. And what's valuable about that, it may not be the most perfect gauge that we have. I mean, it may not be the most perfect gauge in the world, but it's the best gauge that we have. And what that will do is, it will just make sure that you realize if something starts to fall behind. Like, you've had a really intense career quarter and you've had to make some sacrifices. That does happen. And your health and fitness has slid a little bit and you haven't really noticed it too much until you take that assessment and you're like, holy cow, I dropped 11 points. I got to get my shit together in my health and fitness. You know, Lifebook is not, you know, Miss and I just got back from Manila, where my dad, who lived there, needed two heart surgeries. So we're in Hawaii, we're setting up our new life, everything's going great, and I get a call from my brother Don that my dad's in trouble in the Philippines. Well, in less than 24 hours, I'm on a plane with my family going to be with him, and I was in Manila, which is, you know, not a super fun city to be in. I love the Philippines, but that city is a little, you know, tough to spend a lot of time in. For a month in hospitals and dealing with my dad, and it was intense and it was scary and it was hard. Lifebook is not an inoculation to the challenges life will throw at you. There is no way to set up the game of life in a way where you always win and never lose, because winning and losing are two opposite sides of the same coin called your human experience. Every spiritual discipline teaches, matter of fact, the first of the noble truths in Buddhism is the inevitability of suffering. You can't make it through life unscathed. We talk about this in the emotional video. You will have pain. You will have setbacks. You will have frustration. You will have disappointment. You will get old and die. People you love are going to get old and die. There's nothing you can do to stop things like that coming into your life, because that's called the human experience. So Lifebook is not an inoculation that makes your life friggin' a fairy tale, you know, and makes all your problems go away. But I'll tell you what Lifebook is. If I wouldn't have had the financial abundance I had, I wouldn't have been able to be on a plane 24 hours later with my entire family, flying to Manila to take care of my dad. If I wouldn't have had the amazing family life I have with my brothers and sisters, they wouldn't have jumped in, and we were all in this together solving this problem. If I wouldn't have had the level of health and fitness that I had to make it through that difficult situation and the level of emotional strength, I would have had serious problems. My son stayed over there the whole time with me, my 14-year-old son. We worked out every single day. We took care of ourselves and took care of each other, and we made it through. So Lifebook isn't going to set up your life in a way that you will win without losing your whole life. What it will do is it will help you get through those tough times so much better. And it will help you get back on track to your clearly defined life vision as soon as those challenges go away.
Nice. Very nice. I would only add just one other thing that John and I do to keep everything kind of assessed and calibrated is we have each other as accountability partners and our kids. I mean, we live very close. We live very outside of ourselves in our family. So everybody always knows what each of us is doing, and we can support each other in doing that. So I think that having close family, friends, accountability partners is key, super key in measuring, because you can get an outside opinion. You know, hey, how am I really doing in this category, instead of just living in your own mind? That's also really good.
And let me just say, in Lifebook Mastery, the entire second to the last week of that course, of that 6-week course, the entire week is spent on nothing more than tracking and measuring and reporting your progress. Because you guys, it's a big problem people have.
Yeah.
Even if they know exactly where they want to go, which most people don't, if you don't pay attention to what's working in your life versus what is not working, what is producing the results you want versus what is not producing, if you do not keep track of that, you are going to have a hard time making it to your life vision. Mm-hmm. We've got to know which strategies are most effective, and it's different for all of us.
And it changes all the time. So you really have to, you have to be conscious.
Yep.
You have to be conscious and aware and really pay attention to the small and big things all together.
So we track our habits in Lifebook Mastery. We track our goals in Lifebook Mastery. We track our progress in all the 12 categories in Lifebook Mastery. We really pay attention to how we're doing on the journey so that we can course correct, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Great. Good question. Great answer.
Great. Okay, let's launch a poll, guys. Let's see how many of you. We have 870 people here. Let's start a short poll. The question is very simple. It's the one we had every week. Have you completed your premise, vision, purpose, strategy for categories 11, quality of life, and category 12, life?
And this is the important week, kids. The important week.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what's happening here. Votes are coming in.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Look at all those yeses. I love it. Way to go, you guys. You're so friggin' awesome. Oh my God. I love our community.
Totally.
Best tribe ever, for sure. Oh, so good. Amazing. Amazing.
Okay, so 600 people voted till this point. Come on, guys. We have 200 more.
That's pretty great. Wow.
I mean, like, we can wait.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, super good group of people here. You guys are awesome.
And also use the power of the community. If you're stuck, if you have writer's block, if you don't have inspiration, do what I did in certain categories in the past. When I did this process more than like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I stole from John's premises. I just took from there.
Which I stole from Marcus Aurelius and Deepak Chopra and Tony Robbins and everybody else out there.
Yep, that goes.
Great. Okay, let's end the poll for now. Let's share the results. So around 55% of you guys completed. Congratulations. 39% you are still in progress. So we hope that also this call, as always, we have these calls for this particular purpose as well, to give you more clarity in order for you to help you achieve and complete those categories faster. And as always, you can always go back to your tribe, to Facebook, go into the weekly posts and get inspirations from there as well. Okay, wonderful. Let's close this. We have here on the list a common question that I've seen also kind of repeated in other calls as well. But because we're doing all of this work on ourselves and we are improving little by little our lives, how do we deal with the feeling of guilt that sometimes can appear from living a great life while others cannot do the same?
Okay, I'm going to ask this group if I can have your permission to be hardcore right now. Give me a few yeses and I'll do it.
Me. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Oh boy.
So here's the deal, you guys. That needs to be gotten rid of completely. That kind of a mindset serves nobody. It's not okay to have guilt for having a great life because other people don't have a great life. It's okay to have compassion for other people that don't have a great life. But it is not okay to have guilt about your own great life. That's not okay. The deal is that playing small doesn't serve anybody. It goes back to what I said in, I think it was the quality of life category. You've got to put on your own oxygen mask before you can help the people around you. You're not going to be able to do shit for the world if you're a mess. If you can't make your own, if you don't have something to bring to the table, you got nothing to bring to the table. How are you going to help anybody? So it's okay to have compassion. It's okay to have empathy. It's okay to have sadness for other people who are struggling. But it's not okay to have guilt about your own great life. That's the inoculation. That's the cure. That's what we, look, Missy and I wake up every single day and we try to make ourselves the best people we can be, and we try to be part of the solution. We try to help other people around us make their lives better. What are we going to do if our lives are in the toilet, you know? We're not going to be able to help anybody. So there you go. I think that it's tied to the financial category. It comes back to the problems that so many of us have, that we were indoctrinated at a young age that in order to enrich yourself, you somehow have to steal from other people. And that's bullshit. That's old. That it used to be true. Before we knew how to create anything, before we knew the rules of wealth, the only way that you could enrich yourself was through conquest. You go knock your neighbor on the head and steal their shit, and that's the only way that you can make your own life better. You guys, that century is old. That's been done since the Enlightenment. The way to enrich yourself and to make your life better is the path of self-actualization. It's a hard road. What you're doing, it's a noble mission. It's the most noble mission in the world, to take what you've been given, whatever that is, wherever you're starting, and to make a commitment to making yourself the best person you can be and to living the best life you can live. That's the best thing you can do on this planet. That's the number one friggin', that's your one job. That's how you express gratefulness and thankfulness for this life you've been given. You didn't ask for this life, but here you are. You are conscious now. You are awake, and your job is to become the best person you can be so that you can help the people around you. It's okay to feel bad for them. It's okay to want to help them. It's okay to feel compassionate. It's okay to feel empathetic, but it's not okay to feel guilty because you are on your way to self-actualizing yourself. That's how I feel about that.
Bam. I would just say, that was amazing. I would only add that if you are feeling guilty and you don't have the problem that John just described, then I would say you probably need to consider serving others. Like, how can you really be of service to others? If you're in a place and you know you are okay and you're in a good place and you have extra, I think the next step after getting to a place where you can care for yourself is absolutely to serve others.
I agree with that.
To be of service to others. But you can't do this until you do that.
May I make a small distinction here?
Yes.
So I think serving others from a place of guilt is not an ideal situation.
That's true.
I think if you have guilt because you're going to be able to create a great life for yourself, you need to work on that. I think that's a limiting belief. And I think you need to remove it, because you're going to be able to serve others so much better if you get rid of that.
That's true.
Think about serving others from a place of guilt for what I have versus what you have, versus serving others from a place of empowerment and self-esteem. And I've worked hard on myself, and it was hard, you guys. And I started from a hard place. And, you know, in my situation, 2 of my brothers died of addiction. I came from a friggin' hard road. It was a battle to fucking stay alive in the first place. And then to make, you know, Missy was such a big part of that. But I got to the point where I was okay. And then I got to the point where I was actually had the potential to do something great with myself. And I went there, and I went there all the way, and now I have something to really share. Now I'm an inspirational example to others. How much of an inspirational example can you be if you're guilty about what you have and what you've made of yourself? I'm obviously passionate about this issue.
Beautiful.
But so there you go. Lose that. And we'll help you. Email us. We'll figure out a way to eliminate that, because the bottom line is the world needs self-actualized people who are taking responsibility for their own lives and making the world a better place by first making their own lives better and then radiating that out on the rest of us. That's what we need. So if you need help on figuring out how to solve that problem, we're here for you.
Beautifully said. So with all of this teasing going on, let's also talk about the Lifebook Mastery course. And here's a question to kick off this conversation. What would you say is the difference between people who just stop at creating their lifebook versus those who continue in order to build it?
We created Lifebook Mastery because about 3 or 4 years in, after we've released the Lifebook program, we realized that where people really fall apart is execution, implementation. They haven't learned how to do it. Even if people know really what they want out of life, which the vast majority of people don't know what they want out of life, but you guys do. You're at least starting to formulate that vision. Even if people know what they want out of life, very few people know how to move toward that effectively every single day and actually make it happen. And you guys, I gotta express so much gratefulness for this, because I had a big advantage in that I had run companies for a lot of years, and I'd been around a lot of very competent, successful executives, CEOs, and entrepreneurs. So basically what Lifebook Mastery is we took the very best practices of corporate execution, how companies get things done in the world. How do you invent and manufacture and release and market an iPad before anyone else has ever done that? How do you do that with a Boeing 747? Companies do the biggest things in the world. How do they get those things done? Well, I had a kind of an inside track because of our business life. So basically what I did when I realized, and this was many years ago, 3 or 4 years into Lifebook, when we realized that people were really having trouble, they knew what they wanted now because, right, and they're like, well, how do I get this done? So what I did was I took the very best practices in the corporate world and I literally applied them to my own personal development. We created a system that I first launched with our accountability groups. Missy was in a women's accountability group and I was in a men's accountability group. We used the strategy first in our small groups and it was phenomenal. And then we rolled it out to the Lifebook community. So basically what this is it's best practices in the corporate world as applies very simply and broken down as applied to your own personal life, so that you can take the vision of what you want to accomplish. It's not a Boeing 747. It's easier than that. Whatever your life vision is, I guarantee it's easier than inventing and rolling out a Boeing 747. But we use the strategies that companies use to get things done. Basically what that is get crystal clear on what your vision is, which you guys have already done. Develop your plan for achieving that vision, your absolute best hypothesis based on your best thinking. Take consistent, effective action on that plan every single day and track and measure your progress so that you can know whether you're getting closer or farther from your goal and adjust if necessary. That's where tracking and measuring really comes in. When you know what the goal is and you know what your strategy is for achieving it and you're working toward that strategy, you've got to know whether your strategies are working or not. That's why that tracking and measuring piece is so important. So we've got that process absolutely dialed in, and it's in Lifebook Mastery.
And the most common question we got in the call, it started from the beginning of the call and then it was repeated at least 15 times, was how does Lifebook Mastery help you achieve your goals faster? And most importantly, how is this different from any other goal-setting program or books on the topic?
I'm going to answer the second part of that question first. Here is the dramatic difference between Lifebook Mastery and any other goal-setting program in the world. And the difference is that you've been through Lifebook. You have gotten crystal clear on what you want out of life. You have got a singular, compelling target for your goal setting. So when we set goals in Lifebook Mastery, we're not setting unconnected goals in a vacuum. See, here's the problem that people get into with their goal setting. You might set a goal, most people just set disconnected, unconnected goals that they want to accomplish, and any goal setting is good. But if you set a goal to make $100,000 this year, and I only made $54,000 last year, so that's a big stretch goal, I'm gonna have to put some time and effort into that. That's gonna take some serious work, right? But I also wanna set a goal in my love relationship, and I also wanna set a goal in my health and fitness. Well, if I'm not crystal clear on what my overall life vision is, that career goal is gonna be contradictory to my health and fitness goal and my love relationship goal. I want them all three, but they're gonna be at odds. They're gonna fight against each other. My career goal is gonna try to monopolize all my time. I'm gonna try to go over here and handle my relationship and my health and fitness. With Lifebook Mastery, we start with your life vision. That's all we care about. We're gonna get crystal clear on it. We're gonna boil it down to 2 pages. That's the target of the program. Every single goal you set is gonna be against that target, which means they're all aligned. That's the big difference. They're aligned and moving in the same direction. A win anywhere will become a win everywhere. And that's what's different about our goal setting process versus any other goal setting process in the world. You come in with a crystal clear target, and that's a different universe when it comes to goal setting. What was the first part of that question?
But the first part of that question, but you touched on the answer as well. How does Lifebook Mastery help you achieve your goals faster?
Well, you already know exactly what you want to achieve. What we're going to do now is we're going to identify the highest leverage goals in your life. We're going to identify the 5 goals that will move you fastest toward your life vision. And then we're going to break those down into smaller and more manageable goals. We're basically going to put a goal setting system in your life against your life vision. I'm going to say that again because that's the dramatic difference of the Lifebook Mastery program, to where you are creating constant forward motion in your life, constant momentum toward your life vision. And then we're going to help you define your small daily habits that are going to allow you to step into that life vision and become the expression of your life vision. Those 2 things, along with tracking and measuring, are really, I would say, the biggest rocks in Lifebook Mastery. And then again, from there, after that 6-week course, you fall into our membership, where we're doing a deep dive into 1 category a month. And you guys, that's where you really master these 12 categories, which means that's where you master living life on this earth as a human being, because those are the only things you need to focus on in order to have an extraordinary life. Anything to add to that, Susan?
No, I don't think so.
That's fine.
That's really good. Although I will add one thing. But when he talks about all the goal setting and all that stuff, sometimes I tend to phase out. And if you're one of those people, think of it this way. You just thought about your whole life, really maybe for the first time, deeply, in all these 12 aspects of your life. You thought consciously, you discovered who you are, you discovered what you want. Now what we're gonna do, and here's your life as it is now, right now. And then here's your life book, life vision life that you really want to put into here, right? So this is what happened when we created Lifebook. Everyone was loving it, it was amazing, but people were having trouble going from here and putting it into here. So what he's talking about is the actual steps that we do, but you can think of it as you're being trained on living your new lifestyle.
Right.
We call it living the Lifebook lifestyle. So basically it's how to integrate this into this, right, so that you don't go back to the old patterns. You really do start this new life here, and this is the beginning.
Well, baby, that I want to put like 5 exclamation points above that, because that is a really important point. One of the big differences between Lifebook Mastery and any other program out there is it's a lifestyle system. It's not a course that you're going to go through and learn a bunch of stuff. It's a system that it's a program that helps you get the systems and processes up and running in your life that you need to consistently move toward your life vision.
Yes.
It's a lifestyle system. It's
Yeah.
a way to live your life congruent with the values that you defined in your life book.
100%.
It allows you to step into
Mhm.
that life vision
Yeah.
and make it a reality.
This really is an opportunity, you guys, to start your new life. It really is. I mean, you did Lifebook. Lifebook is not the end. It's kind of the
It's the beginning,
beginning
it
of
really
your
is.
new life.
Yeah.
So after you do, you have to understand the whole process of Lifebook. You just did kind of the first
First step.
step of it, right? Then there's mastery.
I'm going to just say this real quick, which, by the way, that first step is profound.
Yes.
Congratulations. You guys
Yeah.
are awesome. If you did nothing else but that first
You're
step, your life would
Well,
change
You're
dramatically.
already seeing, I know a lot of you are already seeing big changes. I've seen in the Facebook, our Facebook
Yeah.
page. It's
You
unbelievable.
know, you know
Right.
already.
Right. But if you want to turbocharge it, do mastery with us. So you learn the whole system within 6 weeks. And then you drop into the monthly, which is basically, okay, now I went through all the categories. I know now that my life is 12 aspects. Now I'm going to put that lifestyle into my real life. After that, what you're going to do is you're going to practice each category every month for a year. And you keep doing that, and you keep doing that, and you're within a year, you will master the Lifebook lifestyle, and you will be living your vision. I mean, that's how it works.
Beautifully said, sweetie. Beautifully
Thank you.
said. The one thing I want to say is this, you guys. If you possibly can, don't make this about money. Don't make this about
Yeah.
$500. I promise you,
Yeah.
we will never give you bad advice.
Mhm.
Just in the financial month alone, just what you will learn and be able to apply to your life in the financial month alone will be worth 10 times more than the cost of all of this put together.
Mhm.
I get it that some of you are going to need that $500 back. You're in a situation where you just can't do it any other way. But I'm telling you, if you are in a situation where you don't absolutely need to make it about money, the best financial decision you could ever make is moving forward with this. I promise you that.
Mm.
You know, what is your life vision worth? What is that beautiful ideal life? What if you could really live that, you guys? This is a system that will move you fast and effectively toward that life vision.
Guys, I'm going to explain to you, I'm going to give you a summary of this entire offer because I'm seeing a lot of questions here. But before I do that, let me give you a short story. When I started this process 2 years ago, I nailed down my categories. I worked through the process, very complex. It wasn't pretty at first. I had a very shitty first draft, let's call it like this. And I continued to work on it. Pretty much, I created it in a way that it would take me around 10 years to achieve my ideal life vision. 2 years later into this work, currently, my ideal life vision is only 2 years ahead of me. So because of the constant work I put, because of the work, because of the goal setting, because everything I've learned so far, I have practically cut 6 years from my life. I mean, I don't know if it's a lot, if it's too little. Some people I know that want to do it faster. This was my personal process. I also strongly believe that if this year works according to my desire, I will cut at least another year from those 2 years that are left. Fundamentally, at this point, I'm telling this to all my friends and my family members know, I am living pretty much 70% of my ideal day almost every single day. So I'm at 60, 70%. So I still have 30% to go.
Unbelievable.
But pretty much that's it. So in the exact same way that Lifebook Online gave you the step-by-step process to create your life vision, which it also helped me, Lifebook Mastery will give you the step-by-step process to achieve it. All you need to know is you need to make sure that you enroll before the deadline because we need to prepare and we want all of us start on the same date. John and Missy and Mindvalley made this very affordable in order to reach this goal of 1 million people with a Lifebook. Fundamentally, what the offer is, if you choose to continue this journey with us and pay $1 extra, right? For this $1 extra, you get to keep all of the materials you have for Lifebook Online. So all of the 12 category videos, you can reference them back all the time. You get also access to the Mastery Program, which is a 6-week program that dives into all of the things that John and Missy already explained, and you get an additional 7 live calls with John and Missy as part of that program. On top of that, you also get Category 13 session. A lot of you have been asking about that. That's a bonus of the Mastery Program. And at the end of those 6 weeks, after you complete the mastery program, you also get 1 month free of the VIP membership.
Say a little bit about that VIP membership, because that's a big deal. So basically what we do when we do a deep dive into a category a month, you guys, we curate the best content in the world on that category. We go up, we create a lot of new content. I do a podcast with my son every month. Missy and I do a Q&A for our community every month.
Writes.
Our daughter writes beautiful articles based on the 12 categories, but we also go out and we curate the cutting edge of that category, whether it's emotional or financial or career or parenting. We bring you the very best content in the world every month.
And a lot of it is from our own Lifebook members who would be in your own community.
Yeah, like if you can imagine, you like we
so
we
many
have
people.
all the assessment scores. So one of the wonderful things that we get to do is we get to go out and say, okay, these 5 people have the highest scores in the community. We're going to interview them. How the heck did you get a 145 score in your love relationship? What are you doing? You need to share that with the rest of the community.
Yeah, it's great.
Right? So there's a lot of user-generated content from the community. It's extraordinary. And we have such a vision for this membership. I'm not going to go into the giant big picture vision, but it's enough for you guys to know right now that those deep dives into one category a month is where your life will absolutely soar. It's where you become a master. So just want to throw that in, Alex.
You don't want to go deep into this, but let me go deep into this.
Okay.
Then. Let me just say what you will be getting out of the Mastery and VIP program, just a short teaser. So out of Mastery, you will get a deep dive into the VIP principles like goal synergy, goal activation, self-control. You also get the VIP habit setting guide. We'll also talk about habits because a lot of you have been asking about this. That's the course with the habits and the implementation. You also get to learn about the funnel of focus, which is John and Missy's goal achievement system. You'll get a lot of tracking tools and templates. Of course, you'll learn to identify the daily habits that will mostly support your life vision. We also touched in another call about this, the 12 daily sacred choices. So we're going to help you create your own 12 daily sacred choices that will bring you closer to your ideal life vision. After you complete this one, as you transition to Lifebook membership as part of Lifebook membership, so after those 6 weeks, basically, like John said, we'll do a deep dive each month in the category of focus, where you'll get videos, podcast episodes, articles featuring expert tips and hacks. You'll get another exclusive live connection call with John and Missy and yours truly here. So every month we'll also do a live call there on the category of the month. You also get Lifebook's Life Notes, which are great book summaries for 2 incredible books on the category of the month. You get what John mentioned, the introspect assessment, the quarterly rhythm. You get the exclusive invitations to all of the VIP member only events and many, many more. So guys, there you have it. This is our fantastic offer. We have our incredible teachers that embody these ideas that they are teaching. We have curated strategies from the best resources available for each of these 12 categories on a monthly basis. We have battle-tested methodologies. Of course, we have a supportive community of like-minded individuals that can help each other in this quest, like we've done with Lifebook so far. We have a killer guarantee for you and a program designed to bring you the results that you want and to transform what you wrote on paper into reality.
All that being said, just do it. I promise you, because again, we will never give you bad advice. If you move forward with us, you will never regret it. We're going to have so much fun. We want to spend more time with you guys. We love you so much. We love these calls, you guys. We love the connection we have with you.
Yep.
So, but you know, the other thing is, if you decide not to continue your journey with us, we want to thank you.
Yeah.
Because
maybe it's not the right time. Maybe you need a little bit of time to have your life book. That's fine.
You've helped us get one step closer to our million people with a life book. And so thank you so much, regardless, for taking this journey with us. But we do hope, for your sake, that you continue this journey, because it's going to be amazing. Love you guys. So it's been such an honor to spend this time with you.
True. And Alex, you are such a rock star. We love you.
Kudos
so
for
much,
Alex.
dude.
Come on, fire it up. Let's
Who loves
fire.
Alex?
There we
Thank you
go.
very much, guys. Thank you very much.
Alex. It was such a great time over the last few weeks, you guys. And it was
great.
challenging. We were back and forth between Asia and all over the place, dealing with crazy stuff. And you know, these calls, looking forward to these calls, connecting with you guys, that gave us a lot of strength and a lot of focus during a pretty rough time. So, and by the way, we got home with my dad yesterday, and he's doing great. And my brother came and picked him up today, and he's on his way down to his house. So like today is the day that we sort of did the handoff, and that whole hard situation, we're through it. And so thank you so much for all your love and support.
Yeah. So
Greatly
much.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys again. We'll see you
Until
hopefully
next time.
in a couple weeks. Until next time.
Yeah.
Love
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thanks so much, Alex.
Bye. Have a good one.
That's all for me. All there's left to say is we're so grateful to have you as part of our Lifebook community, and we hope you will take the next steps on this journey with us into Lifebook mastery. We are definitely committed and determined to help you create your ideal life vision. There is a Malay proverb that I really love that says, "Sikit sikit, lama lama, jadi bukit," which basically means little by little, over time, it turns into a mountain. Little by little, you work on the monumental task of gaining clarity in all areas of your life. And I believe that also little by little, by working on the piece that's in front of you, you'll also create your ideal life vision. So stay committed, guys. Thank you very much for all your questions, for your comments, for your engagement and participation, for showing up and for playing full out. And until I see you in Lifebook Mastery, I wish you an extraordinary life filled with lots of laughter and lots of love. And as always, lots and lots of learnings. Be extraordinary, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye.